What's up, everybody? So I wanted to make this quick video today explaining how I trade. Now, I've had a lot of people recently asking me how I trade to make some videos on it, and I haven't been wanting to do that because I feel like you should be able to watch the stream and just learn how I trade. But there are a lot of new people. The last time I made a video on how I trade, it was probably at like 2,000 subscribers. Now we're at 10,000 subscribers. So there is been some changes, not that many changes. The only change I would say that I'm adding is the mathematical edge of RR. I still trade negative RR, that won't change, but I did vary away from taking buys when bullish and sells when bearish to just taking the crosses whenever and taking any type of setup. Now, I want to say that this is my A+ setup, so this is the only setup I'm going to take. I'm not going to take any other setups besides this one. I haven't really changed it much. It's really just buys when bullish, sells when bearish, taking the daily buy. So if it's telling you to buy whenever the daily candle is bearish, you're not going to buy. If it's telling you to take a sell while the daily candle is bullish, you're not going to sell. We're just going to go on the trend and the daily buys because that to me is the highest probability setup, the most A+ setup, the most comfortable setup I can be in. I don't have to think too much. I don't have to cut risk. I don't have to manage risk super aggressively either. I can just let it ride out and manage risk when I need to. So let's get into the video. For this example, I wanted to present to everybody is just a couple of trades. There's not that many trades that I want to go over because there are so many streams of me trading, and there's a whole journal, 400 plus trades of how I'm trading. So if y'all want more examples, go check out the journal for real. This is just going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. As we can see, we have our daily open right here. This is our daily open of the day on Friday. I have a daily open at 1800. On this side of the daily open is going to be a bullish candle. On this side of the daily open is going to be a bearish candle. So if it's telling us to sell while the daily candle is bearish, then we're going to take a sell. If it's telling us to buy, we're not going to do that because that's going against the daily bias. We want the daily bias on our side. We want trend on our side. That is how we get the highest probability setup. So if we're looking at today's, Friday before the market closed, we had a setup at 7:10 a.m. For me, I'm not going to trade until after market open. So I don't have to worry about any of this. Once market opens at 9:30 Eastern, then I can start looking for setups. But I like to show up for pre-market and just, stream and talk to people and just see how the market's moving before it moves, like in a direction that it wants to go. More volume. That's what we need. We need more volatility. That's what I like. I don't want to be in a trade before market open because I feel like it's just, if it goes to 50-50 at that point, I'd rather stick with a 88% win rate, 90% win rate than take, lower my chances of winning. It's all probability at the end of the day. The highest probability setup is after open. This setup right here appeared. So what we're going to look for is ADX. This white line is the trend. ADX is a trend indication. It doesn't tell you where trend is. It just tells you how strong the trend is. ADX is a mathematical formula based off trend, the average directional index, the direction, volume, trend. This is the indicator for that, ADX. We're looking for ADX, this white line right here that you can see, to be at the level of 25. Once we can see that the ADX is at 25, we can enter into whatever it's telling us. For example, this trade, red crossed over blue. We see that red cross right here and right here. So red is over blue at the time of ADX being at 25 right here. So if we can take that into consideration, okay, red is over blue, ADX is at 25. That means that we should sell. What we're going to do is we're going to look at right here. This is 12:30 where it told us to enter. We're going to enter short position tool right here. We're going to look and we're going to see, okay, we have a daily high right here. This is our daily high. We're going to put our stop loss above the daily high. And I know this seems crazy. I know it seems super crazy, but with the 545 point stop loss, you can still lose 2%. You can still lose 1%. It doesn't have to be a, fixed lot or whatever. I choose to trade on 1YM, but that's just me. We're going to target a 0.3R for me. You don't have to target a 0.3R. You can target a 0.25 or a 0.2, but I like the 0.3 because it's giving me 1 to 3 trades until I can get a loss back, which is fine. I'm usually winning way more than I lose. Yes, I've gone on a losing streak. That wasn't with daily bias, and this is why I'm going back to daily bias, because it is the most accurate trade for me. What we're going to do is we're going to put our stop loss above daily highs for sells, and we're going to put our take profit at a 0.3R. The entry is at 790. Our stop loss is at 336, 44336, and our take profit is going to be a 0.3. So that is going to be 162 points. That is a trade for there. This is another trade we have right here. ADX was at 25 at the time of this crossing. We took the sells because the daily was bearish. We took the sells. We put the stop loss above the daily high, targeted 0.3R. That was a 75 point trade. That's it. That is literally all we're doing. So say, for example, I'll find a buy real quick. Okay, this is our buy example right here. ADX was at 25 at this time. ADX was at 25 at 1250. And we see that blue is over red. So we see the cross of blue right here. We see that ADX is at 25 right here. And while that time at ADX is at 25, we see that blue is crossing red. When ADX is at 25, we see blue is still over red. We're taking the buys. At this time, we mark up, we take a buy, we put our stop loss up below the daily lows right here, above the daily lows wick, not the body, the wick. And we target a 0.3R. And that's the trade. This is it, guys. That is literally it. If ADX is above 25 and blue is over red and the daily's bullish, we're taking buys and we're putting our stop loss below the daily lows and targeting 0.3R. If the daily candle is bearish and ADX is at 25 and red is over blue, what are we doing? We're going to sell, because that goes with the daily buys. ADX is at 25, indicating a strong trend, and then the direction red over blue, selling. With all that in our favor, we have a 90% chance of winning the trade. Now, obviously, we can still lose. I'll show you a losing trade. This trade right here was targeting 0.3R. I took this before FOMC minutes, so maybe that had something to do with the crazy spike right here. But anyways, the daily was bearish, right? They told me to sell because ADX is above 25 right here. ADX is above 25. I sold. And that's what I did. And then ended up, ADX went below 25. I went to 24. So one of my risk management areas is to move the stop loss to the most recent high if I'm going to sell, and the most recent low if I'm in a buy. Since I'm having my such big stop losses, sometimes I don't, I have to manage risk. This is my way of managing risk. So, but that is it. That is how I trade. Buys when bullish, sells when bearish, targeting a 0.3R. You don't have to target a 0.3R. You can target a 0.25R or 0.2, whatever works for you. I'm comfortable with taking 1 to 3 trades to get a loss back. Some people want to do less. Some people are okay with more. For me, the sweet spot is 0.3R. And whenever I enter into buys, I got to make sure the daily candle is bullish. Put my stop loss at the daily lows, target a 0.3R. For sells, make sure the daily candle is bearish. ADX is at 25. Red is over blue. We're taking sells, putting our stop loss at the daily highs, targeting a 0.3R. Simple, easy. Now, if you want to learn the rest of the strategy and how I really risk manage, tune into the stream. You'll get to see it live. I stream every day for free, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you all then. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. Deuces.